Hello, Philadelphia! I'm Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gorgano Show!
Good morning! Good morning! Good morning! Good morning! The shot is off. Good morning. What do you say? Happy draft day, everybody! It's draft day! Yes! The NFL draft is upon us. Oh my. Oh my. I can't wait for tonight. There's nothing better. There's nothing better than the draft. I don't know what it is about this thing. I just love the draft. It's so stupid, but it's got so much drama to it. I freaking love it. There's that sound. Right? And then it's with the 23rd pick in the NFL draft, the Baltimore Ravens select. I don't know. I love that piece of it. VG, good morning.
Good morning.
Since I'm talking to you now anyway, I might as well just bring you on anyway. This is the Anthony Gargano Show, and we're presented by TrueMark Financial Credit Union. TrueMark.com/PHLY for the credit union difference.
What a day. What a day.
I love this thing. I love to geek out with it. I'm already starting to, I'm texting people to try to get for what's going on with what's the smoke screen of the quarterbacks.
Smoke screen on the quarterback. Dude, I can't get it. It's like a perfect storm. I find out Rocky Thompson's gone. Power play is going to be good next year for the Flyers. I find out this morning it's National New Kids on the Block Day. A little step by step mixes in with the draft. Dude, we are locked and loaded today. All kinds of fun, good stuff going on.
Yeah, as long as you don't talk Phillies.
Phillies are great.
Great.
So, yeah.
Dude! First of all.
Am I talking you off the ledge?
Yes. All right. First of all, let me get it off my chest because right now, I don't know.
You came in hot.
Yeah, I feel hot right now.
Yeah.
Over a multitude of things.
Hands up.
I feel hot. Like, that shot's still not right, but it's okay. Here's the deal.
You look good.
It's not even about how I look. It's about how it's supposed to frame.
Yeah.
But it's the director in me, VG.
Suddenly you're Kubrick this morning.
I'm Stanley Kubrick. I am. I'm Stanley Kubrick. Here's the thing. Romano blows. All right? He stinks.
Yeah,
dude, this bullpen is frightening.
It is.
It's frightening. There's no way they should have lost that game. Between untimely hitting.
Yeah, let's talk about bases loaded, one out in the 10th. Jeez,
untimely hitting.
Yeah.
Can't get a run home.
No.
All right? Feebleness. And then the bullpen.
Well, the bullpen is just no hope. I have no hope for the bullpen. I
know, but that's a huge deal.
They're going to have to get something at the end.
Kirkering. They need right now. They need two arms.
They got one coming. I think within 2 weeks. Is it Lazar?
Yeah.
He had his third save last night. Now he's topping out at 96, 97 miles per hour. A lot of strikeouts, low whip. He's coming up. He's got to. They just got to find a way to get some life into somewhere. So I think he comes up. Dude, 1 through 5 hitters in that Mets series, 9 for 61, 147.
Dude, it's outrageous.
Trey, Bryce, Schwarber, Nick, 5 for 46.
Yeah.
And I didn't know. Was it their 16th straight game? I mean, that's a lot. You know, that's the end of a long stretch,
it's
dude.
It's baseball.
So what?
Oh, 16
it's a
straight
grind,
games.
dude. That's a
the
long
Mets
time.
are playing a lot of games.
A long time without a day off.
It's freaking baseball. You just started the season. It's freaking April.
Here you go.
Oh, God. I'm going to cry about a day off.
All right, this will help you feel better.
Oh, my God.
2022, 2023, they ended up being really good seasons. In the first 2 months, their records combined were 46 and 59.
Listen,
I
know the math.
This is what they do.
I get it. Here's what worries me, is the lineup is out of whack, and their bullpen stinks. Now, how does the bullpen get right? Like, that's the thing that worries me.
You got to
find a
young arm and a
is
trade.
Romano, don't call me Romano. Is he going to be all of a sudden wake up and be able to get people out?
It sucks, man, because he's such a head case. And there was the one call, should have been a strike.
I know.
And then after that,
he melted.
he's like, that
He's melted.
threw him off. Yeah.
Melted like whiz, cheese whiz.
I like a good whiz.
So do I.
Yeah. Just not a Romano whiz.
No, you don't want the Romano whiz.
No, not at all.
Not at all. But between that and then watching him hit,
The hitting is way more frustrating for me right now. I expect the bullpen to stink. I will expect a timely hit every now and then.
it's terrible.
Bryce looks horrible.
Well, you know what's weird though? He had some good swings like over the weekend. Like he was right.
But when there's runners scoring position, he looks terrible. That series was a bad series.
Bryce Harper. Like I can't.
No, I know.
I mean, like here,
I'm
like
not saying he stinks.
here's the thing: is like Turner. Turner kills you.
They got to drop him down to like 8.
Dude, Turner, what happened to that guy? He became like the Monstars. This dude was an MVP. Do you remember he was Captain America?
Yeah.
He was Captain America.
He's like a 330 hitter, man. MVP. Yeah, he killed that America series. What was that?
He's freaking Captain Crunch.
Yeah, dude.
He went from Captain America to Captain Crunch.
I actually like Captain Crunch. A little bit of pop, a little bit of berries. He's not even Captain. Don't insult Captain Crunch.
Captain Crunch stinks.
I like Captain Crunch.
Captain Crunch. He's horrible, Captain Crunch.
Are you nuts? Crunch berries, peanut butter, Captain Crunch.
Stinks. Get out.
He
was Captain America. Trey Turner.
Yeah. Now better off. He's Captain Steubing on the Love Boat.
That's a bad captain.
That's a bad captain.
Captain Steubing.
Yeah, that's right.
Joey don't even know who Captain Steubing is.
Nah, it's a shame. It's a great show. It's on Me TV. Me Too TV.
Anyway, it's draft. What do you want from the Birds?
Oh, I've got a list of 5.
Like, what do you want? Like,
I got
like all kidding aside, like, you know, this is such an interesting night for him because it's impossible to predict what they are, like what they're going to do.
Yeah.
When you're picking that late and you're trying to figure out, well, all right, what's my strategy? Like, you just got to play the board.
Honestly,
you're playing a game of Monopoly. You're playing the board.
I want some depth and a tight end. That's all I can ask for right now. Some depth.
So DL.
Yeah.
D end.
Yeah.
So interior lineman and edge. Interior lineman, edge.
Trench depth.
All right. And O-line. I agree. And a tight end.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
And a safety.
Yes, and like a good special teams player or two.
You know, well, you're going to need, I mean, you are going to need somebody to come. I mean, somebody brought this up yesterday to us. I forget who it was, but they were so right. We got spoiled with Quinyon and Cooper DeJean. Like, they take Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell, and it changed the season.
Borderline all pros.
Like, their defense, what is it we talk about? Well, you know, they became more of a downhill run team. Yeah, all that's true. But what happened, Cooper DeJean started to play.
Mm-hmm.
And Quinyon Mitchell started to dominate. So having DeJean in the middle of the field and Quinyon Mitchell as a shutdown corner, that made their defense.
Yeah, I think if you're expecting 2 stud starters,
Well, right, that's
not going to happen.
My only point to bring that up is that never happens.
Right.
Let alone one guy. They got 2. Normally, the ascent of a rookie will be like, I don't know,
slot.
Nolan Smith.
Slot. Oh, yeah.
All right? Think about Nolan Smith's trajectory. Little quiet rookie year, a little unsure.
Mm-hmm. And the Kobe, same way.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he comes in, and then boom, it starts to click.
Mm-hmm.
And that's normally when you hit on a rookie, that's the path. They don't go to superstardom from rookie year. I mean, both those kids were amazing.
Yeah, they're borderline all pros. And that's never happens.
Never happens. No, that made their defense. Their secondary, lest we forget how terrible that secondary was 2 years ago.
Oh, totally remember. That's why Howie went nuts on it.
How they couldn't tackle. Do you remember the Seattle game on the Monday night 2 years ago?
Yes, I do remember that, actually.
And how woeful. Who was the backup quarterback? Bot. Who was the backup quarterback?
It was Drew Lock.
Drew Lock, thank you. I knew Bot would have it right at the top of his head.
Man, he's good.
Oh, Bot knows that.
Oh, that game crushed me.
That memory is
year.
solid.
No, Bot knows. Drew Lock bringing them down inside a minute
Oh, I do remember that.
to win the freaking game.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're going, well, they got to beat Seattle. I remember that Monday night going, you got to beat Seattle. Like this slide, you knew that they were different and that things were going awry, but that was the game that set the season into a spiral.
And then I think he did he Supermaned on them, like he was stunting on them, like he was some great quarterback.
Yes, he was. This was Drew Lock. They couldn't tackle. They were terrible. But the 2-2 after the first 2 games last year.
Yep.
That's where
kid
Cooper DeJean and Quinyon, those two, right, help make the defense.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
What do you think about this the Diane Rossini story where she's saying the Steelers are looking to trade out of 21?
They're all looking to trade out.
Do you think
everybody?
Is that
every
your
report
Walter
I see
Nolan? Can you get him a 21?
I don't know. I think he goes in the teens.
Yeah.
Would I like Walter Nolan? Yeah. Would I like Mike Green? Yeah.
What about
both those kids are adding those 2 kids to the front? I think those kids play right away. Can play right away.
Yeah.
Can be good right away.
What about
Would I do it? It depends on the price.
This can't be that much, can it? I mean,
there's the
8
chart.
spots, 7 spots.
No, there's the chart. There's the
Yeah,
chart.
the chart.
It's going to be more than 7 spots. I mean, Walter Nolan, you're talking about in the teens.
All right. Well, I was saying to get up what the Steelers are.
Well, I mean, Mike Green could be out, but you can go get Mike Green there.
Help me out.
It all
here.
depends on how much you want to. It should devalue. Moving up should be devalued because there's not a ton of guys.
So yeah, you don't think the chart should be on a curve?
Correct.
A curve this year
because it's not.
It's not a good draft.
Well, it's not that it's not a good draft. It's everything's a perception, and the perception is because the quarterbacks there's no quarterback value.
Mm-hmm.
It brings the level of the draft down.
I can see that. I'm trying to figure out. I wanted to get your opinion on someone else. He's a D lineman from Georgia.
Oh, Walker?
Yeah. What do you think about him? You happy with him? If they can find a way to get him?
I mean, listen, I'm always down for a Philly dog.
Bulldog.
Yeah. I mean, but the guys I want are to me. I mean, I think Nolan's a stud, and I think Mike Green can be a stud.
All right.
So those will be the two. My eye to see how the board falls. And that's all Howie's going to do. Howie's going to see tonight and kind of look at it and go, all right, let's see how the board falls. And you're playing the board, man. It's like the game of life, the game of draft.
He's Howie Wizard, Howie Potter. So he owned this board game.
He does. You're right. Did you see the movie Draft Day?
No.
You never saw it?
No.
It's so bad that it's worth the watch. But you saw it.
It's so bad it's good.
Right.
It's so bad that it's good.
You're right.
The concept is
Costner,
insane.
It is.
I'm a Costner fan, too. I like a lot of
love
Costner stuff. But
I like Costner, except for The Untouchables.
I love The Untouchables. Come on. You don't like The Untouchables? It's a great movie. What is your problem with The Untouchables?
What?
Yeah.
I was rooting Capone.
Well, but it's still a good movie. Just because your team lost, it's a good game. Come on, man. Come on.
No, I hated it. I hated it.
Now, the chat is saying that's one of the worst movies ever, Draft Day.
It is. It stinks. Chat's right. Chat knows. Listen, the chat is all knowing. So but it's so bad that you got to watch it.
So
I'll bet you. In fact,
if I'm looking for humor,
Howie has watched it. Right?
Yes.
And Howie envisions himself. Are you in the manifestation?
Of course.
Yeah.
Total Vision Board.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
All
right.
that, yep.
Yeah. That Howie has manifested himself as that guy.
Just Ed Rice says you're fired up because Andy Garcia played an Italian. The Untouchables. It's been on fire.
It was corrupt, and the whole thing was corrupt. All right,
Burn this place down. I love that movie.
the best is he goes, team.
Yes, it's a great baseball scene. Yes.
Baseball scene. It's the guy with the bat. You see Untouchables, Bot?
I actually haven't. I've not seen that movie.
Well, you're telling him to stink.
Joey, you see Untouchables?
Oh, man.
Oh, Joe.
Come on.
Come on, Joe. Come on, man. You didn't see Draft Day. Have you heard of Draft Day? All right.
It's today, draft day. He's heard of it. Yeah, it's today.
You're not big into that? That's all right. The concept of Draft Day is so preposterous, right? Like, it's so ridiculous that he's got to maneuver 7 ways from Sunday to get the number 1 picks to get the quarterback.
Okay,
it's crazy, but
you have to suspend disbelief.
it's worth watching today.
Today,
Leading up to the draft tonight. It's right or wrong, Bot.
Yeah, I think it's a good game plan on what not to do heading into draft day.
All right, the peg has got a hair appointment at 5, so I'm going to have the TV alone for
Yes!
a few hours.
Yes!
Maybe I'll throw
Do
a
it!
couple gummies and draft day.
Yes!
See what happens.
Yes. You can't gummy during the draft, though, dude.
During the draft, yeah, maybe just take the edge off, man. Chill. I don't overdo it. It's microdose.
You want to be locked in. You want to be your
Dude, because you're not a man of that. Nothing gets you locked in and laser focused like that stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought the only
I'll
thing that
be
did
so-
that was
Adderall?
Adderall.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Now I'll be locked in. I'll just hopefully tomorrow I have a couple nuggets where I find something in the background. I'll be like, oh, look at that guy. Look at that. And get a picture.
I was on a writing deadline, and I may have tapped into an Adderall.
Oh, yeah. It's supposed to make you very productive.
I'll tell you, I looked up from my computer. I was there for like 8 hours,
Yeah.
and I had written, I don't know how many pages, how many words.
It's weird. A lot of med students and law students suddenly get ADHD when they get to med school and law school and get Adderall. And they seem to be very productive.
Your brain, like, you lock in.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, like, you lock in with your
I get
young.
super hyper focused and observant. Yeah, observant on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a small bit, not enough to be like, oh.
It's draft day. I
Don't
don't
get
want
out
to
of my
be.
head.
I don't want any inhibitors to draft day. I want to focus in on it.
Yeah, there's inhibitors and there's enhancers.
Do you like the bro hug, the Goodell bro hug?
I'm fine with it, bro. My favorite part of the night is everyone booing Goodell every time he comes up on the stage. I love it.
I don't mind the bro hug.
No.
People hate on the bro hug.
People, why?
I would, if I was commissioner, I would be bro hugging.
I mean, why? I mean, I usually bro hug. Why? What's wrong with it? Why do people give him
You
a
bro hug?
Yeah,
You do?
yeah. I can dab.
But you're not physical.
Well, now a bro hug's got to be what? Like a bear hug? I'm not bear hugging people. Like, what are you talking about? Nice, subtle, bring it in. Bow, bow. What's it got to be crazy for? Like, not physical. Yeah. Hey, I don't want to bear wrestle with you. No, I just want to bro hug you. Dude, come on, man.
What about you, Bot?
Yeah, I think so. So I think a lot of times you got to do the dap first, right? You dap it up and then you hug.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of how.
Well, you get my point with the physicality.
Yeah.
Like, he's not physical with it.
I'm sorry. I can't bro. I
think-
hipster hug. I don't bro hug. I don't bro hug. I hipster
I
hug.
love you, brother. You're the best. All right,
You
we
know
got-
who's a great dapper bro hugger?
Who?
Quizzo man Johnny Goodtimes. He can put the snap in it, and he does the
yeah.
dap with the snap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me and Moss do that.
Yeah?
We'll do
Solid.
that. Yeah. Classic. Yes! Dude, that's what I wanted to hear. I love that music. Joey, listen to that music. One more time.
Joey's never heard it before.
No. Joe, listen.
I
Joey's a
asked Joey
boarder,
to get it.
right?
That was the first time he ever
Joe-
heard it.
So he's
Joey's
heard
a
it once
boarder,
before.
right? He's a skateboarder.
Yeah.
He's not watching. How many drafts have you watched in your life? Any?
Honestly.
One, yeah. Yeah. No, you're a boarder. I get it. No, without a doubt. No, I'm turning you into a sports boarder.
When I was little, my dad would be like wanting me to like watch football games and stuff. The only thing I watch would be like Phillies and stuff.
Right. I know you're a baseball man.
And then now that I got older, I love watching everything.
Yeah. That's it. Now you're part of the club. All right. Lots to get to. Kevin Negandhi, to dive in. You want rumors and everything else?
Yeah.
Oh, Kevin's hooked up. We got to go through it all. All right? I cannot wait for this. We'll do our own little mock.
Oh, yeah. We're doing a 7-round mock.
Yeah. I forgot my freaking book.
What book?
I have an Arlad's book of all my notes and everything in it.
Oh, man.
And I forgot it this morning. Son of a creep. All right, lots to get to. Coming up, Franny Films. Oh, I love Franny Films. You want to talk about geeked up right now?
This is his day, dude.
Yeah.
He's ready to go. He might be in a tuxedo.
We had a blast. I mean, last Thursday night, we did a draft special, he and I. It flew by like that.
Yeah?
Yeah,
2 hours quick?
Quick. It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. All right. Let's talk about some of our friends.
Let's talk about Glad. Let's talk about some hair. Let's bring back that hair. Let's save that hair because Glad Hair has been restoring and defending hairlines for over 30 years. So it's no wonder they got the reputation that they do. Their proven results, experienced team, or just a few reasons the Glad Hair name has stood the test of time. Glad Hair by Morgenstern Medical isn't just about restoration. Nah, these days they're all about innovation. And their breakthrough specialized Glad Hair techniques really do dramatically change lives and, more importantly, hairlines. The Glad Hair technique consists of a few things. You get one-on-one care. You get a 100% personalized hair restoration plan of action designed just for you and your specific hair loss. You get follow-up care and cutting-edge hair loss prevention treatments, medications, and more. Glad Hair can help you bring back the hair, keep the hair you already have, and they can help you bring back the hair you've already lost. So if you'd like some more information and are ready to defend that hairline of yours, visit gladhairmm.com. gladhairmm.com. Or you can actually call or even text them if you want, whatever's better for you, 610-980-4000, 610-980-4000.
Glad. Are you talking about TrueMark?
Yeah, oh yeah, I love talking about TrueMark.
Yeah, I think you'd be talking about TrueMark right now.
April is Financial Literacy Month, and our friends over at TrueMark are there to help you out. They got something that's going to get you and your family off the field, teaching your kids how to handle their money. If you're a TrueMark Financial member, you've got this fantastic opportunity to help your kids and your teens learn to earn, save, and spend wisely with a free Greenlight account. Now, the Greenlight account comes with this app. It's a super cool app, changing the way you teach your kids financial responsibility, whether they're setting savings goals, learning how to track their spending, or even getting their allowance. It's all done right there through the apps, right at your fingertips and their fingertips. And get this, each kid gets their own debit card with this Greenlight account. That's right, they can make their own purchases, learn how to budget, build real-world money skills, all while you stay in control of it right from your phone. You get a peace of mind. They get a chance to make smart, responsible choices with their money. So if you're looking at a way to teach your kids some financial plays this Financial Literacy Month, we can't recommend this enough. It's like training for life's biggest game. So head on over to TrueMark.com/Greenlight, TrueMark.com/Greenlight to get all the details and sign up today for this cool account. Don't miss this chance to set your kids up for the all-important financial success in this world. TrueMark.
We love our TrueMark.
Yeah.
All right. You know who we love?
Yeah.
Franny Films.
They do not crave food nor drink for nourishment, for they exist solely on the glow of the all-22 monitors. They are the Leatherheads, and he is Franny Films.
My man, happy draft day, baby.
Happy draft day, cuz. Happy draft day, VG. We're on the goal line, just about here. Excited for tonight. Excited for things to get rolling.
Can I just tell you, I was talking about you earlier. I thoroughly enjoyed our night last Thursday night. It went by in a blink.
It did. Yeah, it was look, and honestly, that feels like 3 weeks ago at this point. Just so much has happened in the last week. I've had a million conversations about how tonight's going to unfold. It's funny, you spend months and months talking about these players and evaluating these players, checking in with sources, and then really the last week and a half, the last 2 weeks, it's all about how is Thursday night going to play out, what's going to happen in the first few picks of Friday. So it's been a long journey, but we are here. Like I said, we're on the goal line.
So, Franny, before you guys get deep into the football stuff, what's your plan for the night? You're live for most of the night. You got a special outfit you pick out for draft day, or you just pull something old out of the closet? I'm always interested in that.
Special outfit.
Yeah, man. Does he have a new?
You're wasting time.
Stop it. We got plenty of time for the leatherhead stuff.
I'm going shirt and jacket. I think we're gonna no tie tonight. We're gonna go shirt and jacket. We're gonna be live right here from 8 p.m. on throughout the entirety of the draft. So myself, Bo Wulf, Zach Berman. So everybody, make sure you're joining us tonight. You can have us as your primary screen. You can have us as our secondary screen. Obviously, we'll be spending a lot of time with an eagle spin on everything that we're watching unfold. I'll be jumping on the other All City Network shows as well. So our friends at DLLS and CHGO. As those teams start to make picks, I'll jump on there, break those picks down. But most of my time, the next 3 days, will be spent right here with PHLY.
Nice.
Yeah, I love it. All right, let's get to it right away. What are we hearing? Let's go through. Let's examine the first round in its entirety. So we know one pick. We know that's Ward, right? Yep. We know Ward is one. Now, we assume that number 2, right? There'll be no trade, no nothing. Cleveland's going to go Hunter.
Yeah, there's been some buzz about a trade. I think they're talking about potential of a trade there. I do think the most likely scenario is that it's going to be Hunter, but I would not rule it out. I think that Jacksonville is making overtures, trying to get up there to take Hunter. It's just about if Cleveland can get blown away, but I do think they will need to be blown away. It will need to include a future first-round pick at the very least in order to get to that spot to take Travis Hunter.
Is Travis Hunter worth an extra one?
It's a very good question. I think that if you're looking in this class, you want to come away here in 2025 with a blue chip talent, a guy that you would say, okay, this guy would go this high in a draft, top 10 in a draft any year. Yeah, he's one of the few players that I think would garner that kind of respect. And so I think when you're looking at Hunter in this class, I think he could fetch that kind of a price. Is he worth it? Big picture. I think if you're a team that is looking, you've got security long term, you probably would take that offer, and I think that's what Andrew Berry is waiting on. Can I get blown away?
All right, Giants, depending on what happens, we know that they're going to go to Happy Valley. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, I know there have been trade talks there as well. My guess for teams that want to move up and take Hunter, honestly, like long-term viability, it would make sense for the New York Giants as an organization to say, yeah, let's trade down. We already have Brian Burns and Thibodeau, but I think if you're Joe Shane and Brian Daboll, you need to get blue chip talent. The short term has to be on the forefront of your mind, and so I do think that they are going to stay put and take Abdul Carter, but you wouldn't rule anything out. I think there is the potential there for some kind of movement, but I would say most likely that is going to be Abdul Carter from Penn State.
I gotta believe it, but it's interesting because the fact that the quarterbacks are not good is what really throws this draft off. Because any other year, the Browns and the Giants trade out so teams go get their quarterback.
Or they just, they stay and they take their quarterbacks.
Those two teams need quarterbacks.
That's what they would love.
You're right. You get my point. Like.
Yeah, exactly. Usually we're seeing multiple quarterbacks go in the top 3 and the top 5, but in this year, it's just not how the cards fell for those teams that are in need at the position.
All right. Then it gets interesting because New England, do they go O-line and go get Campbell here? What are you hearing from New England?
I think this is Will Campbell. I feel pretty good. So I have my final mock draft. I was up till almost 2 a.m. last night putting this thing together. It's up right now for diehards and all PHLY. It's everything that I've been hearing, all the media reports, everything thrown into that mock draft. So you can get all the details there. I do think that Will Campbell, if the Patriots stay put, that's the pick. I do think that this is another team that would be willing to trade out of this spot, but again, would need to get blown away by an offer. They need to keep Drake May upright. That offensive line is still in dire straits. I think it's Will Campbell.
Yeah, I do too. Now, do the Jags go Genty or do they trade out? Because there's another, I heard another thing. They either want to go up or possibly trade out to teams that covet Genty.
Yep. So I outlined basically what my understanding of their plans are, in that mock draft. But yeah, that is a team, as I mentioned earlier, that could trade up to take Hunter. They are open to trading back. I do think that this is an offensive player. If you read my 7-round mock draft last week, I was one of the first to market with Ashton Genty as the pick there at number 5. And now that has obviously picked up steam over the last week. I think if they stick and pick, it's Ashton Genty. I don't think that ownership group and that GM would necessarily feel like we love the idea of taking a running back 5 overall, but that will be the pick if they stay at number 5.
All right, Raiders. What is Tom? Because Tom's don't get it twisted. Deep up in the sky, Tom's running this thing.
Yeah, I honestly, like, my initial thought was that this was going to be Mason Graham, the defensive tackle from Michigan, but a lot of the conversations I've had in the last week have pointed to this either being offensive tackle Armand Membu, offensive tackle Kelvin Banks Jr. from Texas. I think this is the ceiling for Banks, or potentially Jalen Walker, the pass rusher from Georgia. I think it's going to be one of those 3 players. Mason Graham, I guess I'm leaving the door open there. The Michigan connection, not just with Tom Brady, but also John Spytek, the general manager there. Deep inroads. Both of the guys are Michigan alum, but from what I understand, it will be an offensive tackle. I think it's
Membu too, because I heard O-line. I heard O-line all day.
Yep.
Jets.
So the Jets, from conversations I've been having for months now with this team, Tyler Warren, the tight end from Penn State, or an offensive tackle. I was led to believe that it was going to be Membu. There's been a lot of smoke, a lot of buzz lately that it could be Banks, that they like Banks more than Membu. Obviously, Membu's off the board, so he's not even a part of this conversation in this scenario. From what I understand, people in that building, like the football decision makers, would not take Tyler Warren. I think that ownership last year, it came down to Olu Fashanu versus Tyler Warren, and they went with Fashanu or Brock Bowers. They ended up going with the tackle from Penn State. Brock Bowers goes on, has that huge year. They know they need another weapon for their quarterback for that passing game. It's really right now, it's Garrett Wilson or nothing. I think that this is going to be Tyler Warren, the tight end from Penn State.
All right. Carolina.
Yeah, wild card right now. I think that they would love to be able to move out if they could. And we'll say, I think that they might even say, like, they might take, we'll say, like, the pennies on the dollar in terms of trade value. They might take a loss to be able to just trade out just to get the right value there. That said, if Mason Graham, the defensive tackle from Michigan, does fall to this spot, I think that they would be happy with that selection. You put him next to Derek Brown. Just add another playmaker.
If you got Graham there,
yeah,
which is entirely possible. That's huge value.
Yeah, I think they would be happy with that outcome. That said, Carolina would like to move, and so this would be a spot that will be interesting to watch here as we get going tonight. If it is not Mason Graham, let's say he doesn't check out. All the pass rushers, I know everybody's been penciling Jalen Walker. I don't think it'll be Jalen Walker. I've heard buzz for Tetairoa McMillan. I've heard buzz from Mykel Williams, the other pass rusher from Georgia. So I think that ideally, and I've heard Walter Nolan. This would be as high as I've heard for Walter Nolan. He's been putting some mock drafts there in the last 36 hours as well. But I think that if the board were to lay out this way, I think they would take Mason Graham and they would feel good about that.
All right, now the Saints are a fascinating team.
Yeah.
Because this is where, and I hear defense right here.
I've been hearing defense all spring with this team, and I know that there's been buzz about quarterback. I don't think it's a quarterback in this spot.
Nope.
There's been some connections with wide receiver and with tight end. I wouldn't say like, oh yeah, if Tyler Warren fell to the spot, sure, like maybe they go that way. I've seen Tetairoa McMillan mocked there lately. Everything I've been hearing though has been defense. Now, the one thing that has in the last, I'll say like 10 days, 7 to 10 days, is I've heard offensive tackle creep in, and Kelvin Banks Jr., this could be the spot for Kelvin Banks Jr. And so I think it comes down to, all right, do they want to take the tackle? then you can, because they lost Ryan Ramczyk, he retires. That offensive line, right? They spent a first-round pick on Fuaga last year. He either kicks over to right tackle or maybe he kicks inside to guard. So is it Banks? Is it Mykel Williams, the pass rusher from Georgia? That's kind of where I'm sitting now. I'm straddling between those two. In my mock draft that dropped this morning, I ended up going with Kelvin Banks Jr. I just think that the offensive tackles are going to go in this class. I think that the people that are valued at the top, the guys that are valued at the top, few and far between. And so if you don't get one early, you're not going to get one that can help you here in 2025 when you get to round 2, round 3. And so right now, I've got Kelvin Banks Jr. slotted in that spot.
Yeah, I could see the run on tackles because there's such a big drop-off.
Yes.
So I could see the tackles. See, I think there's going to be the run on tackles in the top 10.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I mean. You're going to have one go at 4, one go at 6, and another go at 9. So 3 go in the top 9. In the way that I'm seeing it right now, this could very easily be Mykel Williams. This could be Shamar Stewart.
Yeah.
This could be Walter Nolan. Like there are guys, but to me, I think that I think an offensive tackle just makes sense because of the scarcity of the position.
Bears.
So the Bears, if things play out the way that I've laid them out so far, this would be honestly like the worst case scenario for the Bears. I think they would love it if Banks, Mason Graham, Genty, Warren, any of those guys made it to them on the board. Obviously, they all go off this spot. Chicago has been talking about moving up. Chicago has been talking about moving back. This is a team, I think that there is some fluidity here with the way that they could approach it. If the board were to go this way, I think it would be a pass rusher, and I think the guy that is the best fit for them is Mykel Williams from Georgia. Shamar Stewart would also be in play. He to me is a Ryan Poles type. He is a Dennis Allen type. So I would be looking at pass rusher here for the Chicago Bears if the board were to go this way. But if one of those other 4 players that I mentioned, Banks, Graham, I would say Membu, you put Membo in there, you put Genty in there, Tyler Warren, any of those guys would be the pick if they were to fall to Chicago at 10.
Yeah, I can see Warren. If anybody falling, it's weird, but I could see Warren falling to 10 of those.
I could, yes.
Genty's not, and I don't think the tackles are.
Yeah, I think that a lot of it's going to hinge on what happens with the Jaguars. If the Jaguars move off that spot, who moves into that spot, and who do they move in there for? That's a huge like sliding doors moment in the top 10, top 12 of this draft.
Yeah, I like that sliding doors moment. That's a great movie reference. 49ers.
I've heard all offseason with them. I've heard pass rush and corner, and a lot of the time I've been giving them edge rushers. Now, I from my intel, Mykel Williams is a guy that they really, really like. And so Mykel Williams from Georgia is a player that if he were to fall here, I've got him earmarked for that spot. Now, in this scenario that I've laid out, Mykel Williams is off the board. And so is it Shamar Stewart from Texas A&M? Guys, I have him going Walter Nolan, the defensive tackle from Ole Miss. There's been, when I did my mock draft last week, it was 10 days ago as I was putting it together, and I'm making these calls, talking with people about teams in the middle of the round. Walter Nolan's name kept coming up, and I'm like, all right, like he's not going to make it past the early 20s.
No.
I just didn't feel. And then over the last few days, you're hearing more about the teams from, again, I mentioned Carolina, anywhere from Carolina into 19 to Cincinnati, 17 to Cincinnati as the floor. And I'm like, man, he's going to go in this area. I mocked Walter Nolan to San Francisco back in March because of the scheme fit, because of the talent level. And so now I'm just kind of circling back to where I was with that. I just feel like that's a fit that makes too much sense. They lose Hargrave. They lost Armstead last year. That defensive scheme is all about get off. I think Walter Nolan makes a lot of sense here to the 49ers.
Yeah, I can see that. Cowboys.
Yeah, I think this is a wide receiver all day. I think if McMillan is on the board, the wide receiver from Arizona, I think he is the pick. If not, then I've been asking around. It was late yesterday. I was asking, okay, if McMillan is gone, let's say the Jaguars are able to move off that spot. Because like I said, I think if the Jaguars move from 5, they move down. I think they want Tetsuo McMillan. So if that doesn't happen and they end up with Genty, McMillan falls to the spot. I think he's there. But let's say McMillan is gone. All right, well, would they take Matthew Golden or will they take a defensive player? Will they take an offensive lineman? My understanding is that it would still be golden, which it's a little bit rich for me. It's been rich for a lot of people I've spoken with around the league, but it sounds like the pick would be a receiver by hook or by crook. I think that it'll end up being McMillan.
So this is interesting to me because what do you make of all this stuff about the trade? Substantive moves that Jerry promised.
Yeah, I mean, I know that there was some there have been rumors about them trying to get up to get Hunter. Obviously, that would make a huge jump. You're talking a future one, something along those lines to get up there for Jerry Jones to get his guy Deion Sanders to get Hunter in the fold there with Dallas. But to me, that just feels like too big of a leap. Could they get up to get Genty again? I think just from 12 to 5 is a big jump. For Jerry Jones to say, I'm going to give up 2 first-round picks for Genty, it just feels rich to me. So I don't think a deal gets done.
I'll tell you one thing. I'm not in love with McMillan. I don't know how you feel.
He's polarizing.
And and you know what's funny? I don't get him for the Cowboys either. If anything, I think they need speed.
Yeah, and that's Schottenheimer. That's why a lot of people have connected Golden to them. Just when I look at the profile for the Dallas Cowboys and the guys that they have targeted early in drafts, typically they like big, physical, rugged players, guys that necessarily don't test well. They're not afraid of the poor athletic profile. So I think it fits there. But then also just the intel that I've gotten from talking with people is like he is their kind of guy. They are good with everything off the field with him. One of the personnel guys in that building, very, very high on McMillan. So that I think that's the fit there, and I think that he would make sense if you were to go off the board in that spot.
What makes him polarizing, McMillan?
He's not a true game breaker, vertical threat. Some people have questioned I'm trying to think the right way to say this. The ultimate the competitiveness, with Tetero McMillan. It was a little bit of a down year after an excellent 2023. It was a new coaching staff, a worse team. So was he always kind of going all out? There's a lot of that when it comes to McMillan. But honestly, man, you could say that about a lot of players in this class. People are saying that about Will Johnson in Michigan, Luther Burden from Missouri. I just think that's gonna be part of the new normal. With college football, with the way that things have been rolling.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't think the kid is a game breaker.
Good. Let's get him to Dallas.
Yeah, I'm with you. All right, where does the next quarterback go, and what's his name?
I don't have one in my first round mock that dropped this morning. I have the run starting at 33. Now, it's possible that somebody moves up. It's possible the Giants get antsy. They move up for Jackson Dart. It's possible that the Cleveland Browns want to make sure that they get ahead of it and make sure that they get their guy, whether that's Dart, whether that's Milroe, whether that's Sanders. It's possible the Saints, who they always have that itchy trigger finger. We know Mickey Loomis, they love to be aggressive and go up and get their guy. So I think that all of those teams are possible. It's just going to be a game of chicken. All those teams are kind of looking around. I do think that there are a lot of teams in the back end of the first round that are willing to move back. I don't know that I'm buying Pittsburgh as a landing spot. People have mentioned the Rams as a potential landing spot for a quarterback. I'm not buying that either. I do think it will be one of those teams that I mentioned. It's a matter of, do they feel like they need to move up into the first round, or are they fine until waiting until tomorrow night?
So somebody told me this. Well, I don't know. I want to get your opinion on it. He said the order of quarterbacks post-Ward will be Milroe, Dart, Sanders.
So if that were to be the case, my guess is that does not happen until the 33rd pick. The Cleveland Browns stay put and they take Jalen Milroe without having to move up. That would be my guess is how that would play out. If Milroe is QB2, I think it would be that happens at 33. For Dart or Sanders to go, I think it would mean that somebody's trading up to select that player on the back end of round one.
So you link, I hear the same thing, Giants to Dart.
There's been some Saints to Dart as well. I think Giants and Saints, I feel like, are the Dart teams. I think the Browns are Shador and Milroe. I think the Giants, they could be Milroe as well. Like Giants could be Milroe or Dart. Like again, it all depends on who you're talking to. I know the Saints and Shuck, that's been a connection. So if the Giants get Dart, then I think the Saints end up with Shuck. Then where does Shador end up? It's It's going to be very, very interesting, man. But again, I think that's all gets resolved tomorrow night, not tonight.
Wow.
If that if you have the Browns taking a quarterback at 33, would that be a thing if the Eagles were there where they just swap picks so the Browns get that extra year?
Potentially, I think that with the way that without getting too deep into the nitty gritty there, the way that the salary cap, the structure for how that option is given out, it's not necessarily, oh yeah, like it's just the 5th year and it's like a linear scale. It's based off performance. So you're actually not getting a huge amount of savings now compared to when they first put that rule in 2 CBAs ago. And so that's why we haven't seen it happen as often. I'm not as well schooled in that area, but that's just the way that was kind of explained to me a few weeks back.
Yesterday we had Ezeraku on. What a great kid. I love that kid, right?
Yeah.
Obviously local kid. Where does he go?
I think the highest is Tampa at 19. I think that's the high point for when you're looking at Ezeraku. I think you can look at Detroit on the back end of round 1. I think you can look at Washington, the back end of round 1. I think you look at the Eagles potentially. I think he could land here in Philadelphia. There's a reality where that happens. So there are a few teams. It's entirely possible that he falls to tomorrow. I do think that's on the board. I was on one of the last conversations I had last night around like 12:30, a little after midnight. We actually were talking about Ezeraku. He was like, "Yeah, I don't think he's locked for round 1." So I do think that's possible. I did have him sneaking into my round 1 mock that dropped this morning. So I think that he's got a few potential landing spots there.
How about Green?
Green's a tough one, man. Talking with people yesterday, it's tough to figure what the floor is with him. And he could very well fall out of round 1 altogether. He could also go in the 20s. I've heard as early as 15 to Atlanta. I've heard the Cincinnati Bengals. I've heard them as well. But when you get past those teams, I honestly, I'm skeptical of the Bengals one. I don't know if I quite buy that one. So I think when you're looking around, it's just tough to see who is going to be willing to take that on. It's a tough one. But just to give you a glimpse as to why I'm so excited about tonight. Okay, I talk about Walter Nolan. There are a lot of people that have Walter Nolan going in the top 12. Well, Daniel Jeremiah from NFL Network, he's got him falling out of the first round. I've got Nick Amenwari, middle of round 1. Daniel Jeremiah has him falling out. I've got Matthew Golden falling out, the wide receiver from Texas. Some people have him going number 12 to Dallas. Wide range on a number of players. It's going to make this really fun tonight to follow.
Yeah, it will. All right, we'll be following you all night tonight, buddy.
Hey, one question for you. Have you watched the movie Draft Day?
A long time ago. I watched it one time. I don't think I need to put myself through it again.
We love you, buddy. Keep up the great work.
Love you guys too. We'll talk again tomorrow.
Yep.
Nice.
There he is. Franny Films.
Love it.
Franny Films. Love it. All right, time now. La Brain.
Brain. The Brain Feinberg.
With the first pick in the draft, PHLY selects La Brain.
First
pick?
pick?
Draft day. I would go, well, no one's taking me number 1. That would be an idiotic pick. You'd be fired for that. But wait, who didn't like draft? How did you not like draft day?
You're kidding, right?
You didn't like it?
I mean, it was so bad it was good.
I enjoyed it. I mean, it wasn't like The Godfather, but it was enjoyable to me. Again, I know it was.
Oh, it was
ridiculous.
preposterous, though. It was preposterous.
It was. Oh, trust me, the preposterous level on a scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah, I mean, like,
That being said, I still liked it.
Yeah,
it was obviously the
I'm
most
a Costner
preposterous
man,
story of all time.
But you're
on an island there.
I actually did like it.
I mean, it's so, like to me, it was so bad. It's worth throwing on today as a primer. Get ready. For the draft
I mean,
tonight.
listen, it was ridiculous. I'll give you that, but I still liked it. That being said,
all right. Couple things.
Yes, sir.
One, will you play the draft?
It's funny. I used to, when these limits were high, and I used to text you all the time. I used to do this stuff like an insane amount. But now the limits have gotten so small. For me, it's not worth my time and my bandwidth. I'm doing so much other stuff. It's just, to answer your question, really, no. I bet one thing. I didn't get that much money down on it, but I bet, I want to say 6 weeks ago, Cam Ward to go number 1, minus 110.
Wow.
That was literally the only bet
You got
I had.
110?
It was when it opened. I got -110. I said he'll close -2,000, which he did. But that was the only bet I was able to get in. I do actually like, and I heard you guys
that's
talking
awesome. That's a great.
Not big money. Not big money. I mean, I'm not. This isn't like one of those, these crazy things. This was,
right.
Pay for a dinner or something like that.
Right.
But no, I heard you guys talking about Milroe. Man, or someone was saying Milroe. That one, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna trust myself on this. I don't think he's going on the first round. I don't see. I don't know. Again,
I had a guy tell me yesterday, a guy in the league tell me that quarterbacks post-Ward will go Milroe, Dart, Sanders.
Yeah. I don't. And again, I know I stay in my lane. I know that what I'm not great at, everyone likes to think they can evaluate talent amazingly. I mean, I'm not putting myself in that.
So the thing with Milroe is this, right? Here's what they see. They see a couple things. One, the kid's got ridiculous athleticism, right? Like, you know that. He also has a really good arm. He's a great kid, and he's a hard worker. Now, everything else, he's got to learn how to read a defense. He's got to learn how to move within a pocket. Like, there's a ton of stuff. He's completely raw. He should have went back in the portal, right? Because his time in Alabama was done. He should have went back in the portal. What's that?
When Anthony Richardson went third, didn't they say the same thing? I think you're praying to get Lamar Jackson or something, but Lamar Jackson to me was one of the most
he was a great
players ever.
Yeah, I agree.
Right.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, so I just don't see it. And I got to tell you this. And again, I did another show the other day, and I talked to the host, and I'm like, Shedeur Sanders. I think I probably watched him play last 2 years. I probably watched him play 15 games at least, I'd say. I think for whatever reason, people love to hate this guy. He does one thing that I think is the most underrated thing of a quarterback. I always say this. You're watching a game. It's 3rd and 8. There's like a 12-yard out pattern thrown, and the quarterback it's a pass he should make, but he throws the ball out of bounds, and then you have to punt. It just throws an incomplete pass, not an interception, not hurting your stats too badly, but it cost you a drive where you could have gone down and scored because of your lack of accuracy. To me, Shedeur Sanders' accuracy is phenomenal. He gets the ball where he's supposed to get it. I think he's good. I think he's actually underrated.
I disagree. I don't like him a little bit.
We'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, in fact, I hate him. Like, I wouldn't, not as a kid, right? But I would not draft him. I would not, like, he would not be on my radar. I would take Milroe over him 7 times because of what I could turn him into. I mean, listen, I need heavy dose of you have to sit and everything else. But but Shedeur is not athletic. I don't think he's crazy.
Right.
We disagree on his accuracy.
No, he's not crazy athletic.
No, we disagree on his accuracy. He throws a decent deep ball. That's it. I don't like his arm. I think he's got a wobble to his throws. I'm not.
Brain comes in like in draft day and Shedeur. Bad day for Brain's coming in 0-2.
I think Shedeur. Okay, listen. I think Shedeur is going to be quite good. I think he's good. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. I actually think he's very accurate. I think he puts the ball every game I watch him. Every pass was like perfect. I put a value on
every
accuracy
pass was perfect. Man,
I watched watching a game or a highlight reel.
First of all, I watched as many games as you did, and then I watched his reel. I went through every one of his throws. I can tell you, Baldy and I sat looking at the film, and I didn't see that a little bit. And I remember watching live.
Okay, all right, fair enough. But what would you guys come up with Milroe then? Because to me, again, accuracy to me, if you don't have that, what do you have?
Dude, he needs a complete makeover. Like a complete he's wildly inaccurate. In fact, he's high. He's inaccurate high, which is horrible, right? But my only point is he's got so many things that maybe I can work with him. Like, he's 2 years, in my eyes, 2 years from seeing the field.
Let me ask you a question. If you're dating, whether you're a woman or a man, and you see someone, you're like, okay, they're in pretty good shape, but their face looks like they got run over by a Mack truck. But maybe we could do plastic
Going to
surgery.
Butterface.
No, he's
just
not
saying,
plastic
like,
surgery face.
No, I'm just saying, why even mess with it if you're like if it's that far away? I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. I think that's I just think that's a lot to ask. If the guys you're saying 2 years before he could even do anything, what's going to change in those 2 years, Anthony?
Well, no, you're going to it's called development and coaching. Maturation, development, coaching. Those are all the building blocks of great organizations. How do you think Jordan Mailata becomes an all-world tackle from a rugby player?
He's the best offensive line coach in the last 50 years. Right.
Like, it's development. You need good quarterback coach. You need good offensive people around them. You need a system. That's what happens. Kids mature. There's a million things. It's called development.
Sure, but it's like anything else. When you go to the 7-Eleven and you buy a lottery ticket,
I don't think it's a lottery ticket, but whatever. Well, we disagree on that. I'm a big believer in coaching and development. Sure. I think those are the building blocks of sports. By the way,
I said the same thing about Jalen Hurts, and I was dead wrong. So there you go.
Well, it's also what he's around, like what system he's in, and what's around him. What's his own line look like? There's a myriad of things. Anyway.
Yeah, no, fair point.
All right.
We'll see how it plays out. I'm curious. If he goes out of Shedeur Sanders, that really will surprise me. But maybe you're right, or maybe
I'm just telling you what I heard from people. Yeah, whatever. All right. What do we got? How did we do yesterday, my boys?
2-1 over here. Nice night.
5-1.
Oh, look at him throwing his junk on the table.
5-1.
5-1. Nice work, Brain.
Last night was that was top 3 nights I've ever had since I've been doing this. I had a really good night last night.
Good for you.
I went 24-3. I had a very
24-3.
24-3.
Wow. Yeah. Did you have one of your big halftime wagers?
Yeah. Yes, Golden State. Houston.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Houston.
Look at that.
I needed Houston win by 15. They won by 15. I had them pick them in the second half.
Oh, that's great.
They were up by 21, and then Golden State hit like 2 threes at the end to make it 15. But yeah, I mean, basically,
good for you, baby.
Everything I did. The only things that lost were like the Phillies was an annoying loss, but yeah. But anyway, 5-1 yesterday. Hopefully, we're now up to what are we now? We're still nowhere near where it needs to be, but 5-1 does help. We are. Let me bring it up. We are 21-23, getting a little closer to 500. And I got a 5-pack for today, guys.
All right, let's roll through. We got to be quick today. So, what do you got? How many you got?
I got Blues over the Jets. I got under in Brewers Giants game. That's it.
Under Milwaukee, you only get 2?
Yep.
Okay, and you got the Blues. Okay.
Over Jets and under Milwaukee and the Giants.
All right, La Brain.
All right, buddy. Here we go. Rays, Dennis Rasmussen, ERA, micro Kozik or whatever, micro whatever.
Right.
His ERA is like in the zeros. Rasmussen's been a
microscopic.
Plus a half run against Corbin Burns in the 5-inning line. Like that very, very much. Again, good chance it's tied. I'll take that tie and I win. Next, Tampa Bay, same game. I'm going to go under 4.5 runs. Tampa Bay can't score a lick. I say that game is less than 4.5 runs through 5 innings. Burns against Rasmussen. So I'm double dipping there. Next, great pitching matchup in Boston. Garrett Crochet versus Brian Wu. We're going under 4.5 runs in the 5-inning line. Again, I have 2 elite pitchers. Seattle can't score. Boston's been struggling to score. I'm going to take under 4.5 runs in that. Mackenzie Gore, Anthony. This is pretty interesting. His last 70 innings, 12 starts, 2.31 ERA and 90 strikeouts in 12 starts in 70 innings. 90 Ks in 70 innings. Under the radar guy pitching incredible. Baltimore, I keep explaining how I think they're the most overrated team in the history of this sport. I'm taking the Nats in the 5-inning line and around a pick. Why not? And then actually, last one. I lost this one. I lost out over 12.5. I'm coming back to the well, kind of like we did with DeAndre Hunter yesterday. Going with Christian Braun over 11.5 points. The average is closer to 16. I know he's gone 0 for 2, but I'm going to go over 11.5 points with Christian Braun. I think it's too much of an overreaction.
Yeah, that's smart. That's good stuff. All right,
Hopefully smart.
I love it. I smell another. I don't know. I think it's going to be 5-0 tonight. I'm smelling it.
Relax.
Well,
I'm going to
listen,
get hot.
Relax.
I'll take 3-2. So I'm 3-2, and I'm smiling, man. But we'll see. But I appreciate both of you guys very, very much, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
It sounds good, buddy. All right, my brother. Coming up, I cannot wait. We have not talked to our friend in a long time. And we got him? Okay. Because I cannot wait to talk to this man and get all geeked out.
You two college heads.
All right?
Yeah.
He is the legend. He will be all over the draft tonight. He is our hometown hero, and he always represents the one, the only, Kevin Negandhi.
Kevin!
Happy draft day, Kev! You're on mute, baby. You're muted.
Oh, okay.
Here you go.
It's Christmas for you, me, and Howie Roseman.
It's it, baby. Draft day. Draft day. Gotta love it.
Yeah, I'm pumped, and I think it's going to be a busy night.
So take me into your world before we go dive deep.
I have a show meeting that'll be in about an hour, and then I'll basically meet up with my producer here, and we will get the chance. I mean, I run into Schefter and all the guys. We were out last night, and you're just basically gathering information. Field Yates, Schefter, Matt Miller, and just. I get the chance to pick these guys' brains about what about this guy? What are you hearing about this situation? What's going on about that? And I just soak it up, man. So when we go on the air, they'll clearly have some stuff that they want to talk about. And by the time we go on the air at 6 o'clock, I think there's going to be some buzz. But this is one of those drafts, Ant, that they're about 15 to 20 first round picks, talent wise, right?
Yes.
And there's a group that for day 2, you're going to see guys picked in the 20s that could be day 2 picks at any other draft, right? And that's going to carry well into day 3. There's just so much talent in day 2 and day 3, that third round and fourth round, that I think that's where the core of the draft is going to be, of playmakers and guys that can do something. So I can't wait. I'll nerd out. The running backs are unbelievable. There's about like 20 of them. There's depth with wide receiver in day 2 and day 3. This is a draft for offensive line, defensive tackle, and defensive end.
Yeah,
and
baby.
A lot off the board. This is a Howie Roseman type of draft.
Yes.
You're going to see a lot off the board in the first round when it comes to those positions. The problem is the Eagles love that. The Eagles picked 32 because in previous drafts and VG, you would see 6 wide receivers, 6 quarterbacks. So the Eagles, whenever they picked, they would have at least, a top 3 linemen on the defensive side or a top 3 linemen on the offensive side. That's not the case this year. We may have, the over-under is 2.5 with quarterbacks in that first round. So we may have 2 or 3 quarterbacks go off the board. We may have maybe 4 wide receivers off the board, maybe 2 running backs off the board. So as a result, the Eagles, I think, are going to be active. If their guys available in the early 20s, I think they make the move. If their guys gone in the mid-20s, I think they take a step back. They call the Giants. They call the Browns, who are at 33 and 34. Hey, do you want to move up? You want to get that quarterback? And then they get more assets. The problem is they've got 20 picks over the next 2 years. So they're going to package something.
Yes.
And go get somebody that they want and need.
So let's talk about that first, and then we'll get into how you think the board may go. Those guys they covet. Now, from everything I hear, Nolan is going to go early and go out and be out of their reach.
Yes. Yeah, you're 100% right. I would, but there is hope there, Ant. The hope is specifically if Nolan gets into the 20s, then you have something where you could work and try to move up, right?
Right.
That's the question. If Nolan's picked in the teens, all right, then now you've got to start. Where does Kenneth Grant look? Where does, do you decide that, hey, we want to go offensive line because we can get some talent later in the.
Oh, what happened? You muted. You're suddenly muted.
Sometimes it's this computer.
Is it computer?
Sometimes.
Is it on our end? No?
Can you hear me?
Now I got you.
Hold on.
Now I got you.
Can you?
Yeah.
All right. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to switch to Wi-Fi here in this hotel.
Okay.
See if that makes it easier.
You do that. We'll take a commercial break. You do that, and we'll reboot it. Perfect. All right. Let's talk about a little Ashley, shall we?
Yeah, love to. Spring's here. Flowers and trees are blooming. So are low prices. They're blooming over at Ashley Furniture. So you might as well spring in some savings with Ashley Furniture because you can save up to 50% off living rooms, bedrooms, and dining rooms right now and have it all delivered absolutely free. Plus, you get long-term, no-interest financing. And you save on top brand mattresses, and you get free delivery, setup, and removal with the mattresses, which is important because throwing those mattresses out with those giant bags is a pain in the butt. But don't wait. Spring into savings now at Ashley, South Jersey, and Philadelphia. Financing with approved credit. Minimum purchase required. Some exclusions may apply, but see the store for more details. Hurry to Ashley, check out their stores, or you can visit them at ashleyfurniture.com.
All right, let's talk about Parks Casino, Street Road, Ben Salem, and the Bet Park Sportsbook app. Brain brought to us by the Bet Park Sportsbook Casino app. Yes, so all that we know, right? Like you gave 2 plays, Brain gave 5. You guys are starting to heat up. You could follow all that stuff right on the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app. All right, and if you're in Jersey, not PA, you could bet on the NFL draft. I think that's what's right.
Problematic
on the
app in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, right. But in Jersey, I think you can.
I believe so.
So you can check that out. And don't always forget the casino. There's always another way to win on the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app. Play your favorite online poker, live, dealer, blackjack, roulette, craps, you name it, all the hot online slots based off the TV shows. You got it right there on your phone. The Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app. Just remember, new customers, in fact, you get up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down your first 24 hours. BetParks.com has all the details. You got to be 21. You got to be in PA, New Jersey, Michigan, Maryland, Ohio. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, let's see if we got Kevin squared away. Kev?
Yeah, I got you.
Perfect. Beautiful. So I'm sorry. So you were saying that there's a possibility that Nolan could fall into the 20s, which then the Eagles could actually swoop in.
That would be great. And listen, if you don't have a guy like that, I mean, Shamar Stewart, the kid from A&M, he doesn't have the production numbers. He comes off the bus, and you're like, that is how I want to build a defensive lineman, right?
Yeah, specimen.
And in the system with the Eagles, it could be a steal. Here's a name I keep on hearing, and it goes against the grain of what we've seen with Howie, but we've seen one thing with Howie. He is adjusted over time. Jahad Campbell, if he's available, the linebacker from Alabama, oh my God, it would be amazing. Now I understand they secured, the Zach Vaughn, and I understand that you're hoping that Kobe can come back, but like Jahad is one of those guys that could be such a great playmaker. We all know, I know, they need defensive edge, they need defensive tackle. They look at depth, they try to figure that out, but I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised with Howie if he were go to against the grain and a guy like Jahad Campbell is right there and you're like, okay, you can't pass him up.
I mean, he's a baller. I mean, he's a straight up football player.
Machine. Yes.
What do you make of Green?
I like him a lot. I think he's going to go in the teens. I
wow.
Think, yeah, I like. There's a lot of teams that like him, and here again, it goes back to one other thing. You see a lot of teams. Especially, here's a perfect example, like the Saints. Saints are a perfect example, and Kellen Moore. They need a quarterback. If they felt like they had a quarterback, they picked 9. If they felt like they had a quarterback that could make the difference in the first round, they would take them. Instead, I think at 9, they're potentially going to go with their best defensive end that's available. So you're seeing teams you say, well, normally we would take quarterback if we had a big class. We don't have that quarterback. Let's go edge. And then that goes off the board with the Eagles, right? Especially at 32. So you start losing depth on the defensive end where they're going to try to go, or defensive tackle. And that's the difference here with the approach. Do you decide, or is there a team in the 20s that needs a ton of help, or the late teens and says, hey, we can collect some picks here that the Eagles have. They want to jump in. It all comes down to, is there somebody on the board that Howie and his crew absolutely has to have and adores and loves? Or do they go Quinyon Mitchell and say, we're just going to wait, and oh my God, this guy's just falling right in our lap at 22. 10 picks later at 32. But I think that phone's going to be ringing in the mid-20s, and somebody's going to try to move up, potentially the Giants over the Browns, to get their quarterback there.
So,
and then I'll have one other thing, and it could be the Saints jumping back in and trying to get somebody. It could be the Steelers who decide, you know what, we can get potentially Shador, not at 21. We can get Shador later on in that first round. Let's jump back in.
So interesting. I had a conversation with a guy in the league yesterday who said post-Ward, the quarterbacks would go Milroe, Dart, Sanders.
Wow.
And I was like, huh? And he went, yep. And at Milroe, I was like, Milroe, Dart, Sanders? He's like, text it again, Milroe, Dart, Sanders. I'm like, wow. And I'm floored. I don't know. I mean, I guess Milroe's getting some heat from teams, or had some. Like, all this stuff has already been locked for a month.
You're right. And let's not forget, there's a backstory to this that no one knows what's going to happen. Is Milroe's accepted a green room invite. He's going to be there tonight. And that's a risk. That means somebody may have conveyed to him, hey, we're taking you. Right? The NFL doesn't want to embarrass kids.
No.
They're not going to put a bad spot, right? So, like, the stuff I was hearing about Milroe, I was actually with Nick Saban yesterday. We had him on SportsCenter, and we broke down the tape. And the one thing, Nick loves him. You can see the physical traits. He is very boxy. He's built like Will Levis. Sometimes that doesn't translate to quarterbacks like the Brady Quinns and who are just jacked.
Yeah.
That goes against the idea of what you want at quarterback. But the one thing Milroe has, he has his legs, man.
Yeah.
And he's kind of like, his guy he looks up to is Jalen Hurts. They have the same agent. There could be a team there that says, hey, we're going to draft him. We're going to use him in package deals, and we're going to see what happens. And it's a copycat league, and it's hey, down the road, we'll develop him into a quarterback. It could be the Steelers. I'll tell you what, though, it would be a discredit to him and every quarterback not named Cam Ward if they put these quarterbacks in early. I was with
them. I'm with you. None of them could play right away.
And I was with an analyst last night, and we went down the line, and I every day I brought up back up. I was like, wait a second, but wait. She's like, back up. And I was like, you don't even think down the back up. That's just kind of how it's assessed. So it's the eye of the beholder. I've heard a lot of stuff about Jackson Dart, but I've heard that offense is in college does not translate.
No.
So you got to still decipher how good Jackson Dart is, because he was in an offense that does not translate to the NFL because he's always thrown to open guys. And the NFL guys ain't open the way they are in the Ole Miss system. So
yeah, you get Lane Kiffin running your offense. I mean, he had a really good offensive line, and he had the basketball team receivers.
Yes, yeah. Harris, when he was healthy, was incredible. So it is really fascinating. It's the eye of the beholder. The whole Shador stuff is fascinating to me because I've heard so many things. I like Shador. I like him a lot. I think his personality can handle any locker room. I think Mike Tomlin likes Shador. I think Arthur Smith, the OC at the Steelers, likes Shador. It's a question of does it get approved by the owner? at 21 for the Steelers.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't see it with him. I mean, there's nothing I see with him. There's nothing really I like. But again, even I like Cam Ward a lot, but he's not your typical number one overall quarterback. In other years, he's not going number one.
You're right. You're without question. This is such a unique draft. You're 100% right.
And next year doesn't profile to be much better.
No, it doesn't. Because if Arch decides to stay another year, you're not even going to have Arch available. But you're 100% right in that too. And that's why I was a little surprised that Quinn Ewers decided to enter the draft. But his loyalty to Texas, he didn't want to end his career in another school. He wanted to end it at Texas as a Texas boy. But he would have been better served to go back, make the money in NIL, because just next year is just like. There could be a guy.
Even Milroe. I don't know why Milroe didn't go in the portal. I know his time is up at Alabama. Go in the portal. You'll get paid and you'll develop.
That's somebody must have told him something. There's got to be some intel to say, hey, you're going to be taken care of. I think that's the most fascinating storyline on how many quarterbacks are taken, where they go, and I keep on saying this to people. It does not matter where you go. It matters. No. It does not matter when you go. It matters where you go.
Yes.
Because
yes.
Look 100% at Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts gets the chance to sit behind Carson Wentz, and then he jumps in and slides in, and he has a phenomenal offensive line that helps you develop as a quarterback in the league. You can be a phenomenal quarterback, but man, if you have no protection and you don't have time, those ghosts start to come in your head no matter what, no matter how talented you are, right? So it really is the system, the coach you go to, not when you hear your name called. And here's another fascinating guy, Tyler Shuck, right? He turns 26 in September. I talked to somebody last night, and they're like, what's he going to be like in 2 years? Because this is the best he's going to be. I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, he's not going. And I was like, this is how you look at him. He's like, physically, he looks great. Can't stay on the field. This is the best he's going to be. This is literally the best he's going to be, especially with his age.
Why is it? I'm curious about that, though, because nowadays with the nutrition and taking care of your body, I mean, look at Joe Flacco having a great year at 40, right? Like,
you're totally right. Totally right. But you look at Flacco. Flacco still had a good run as a quarterback where he was the face of the franchise, right? They're now looking at the impact that a quarterback can make in that 4-year deal or 5-year deal, the first round and the second round, right? That's kind of where they're looking at it. Again, real or not, that's why the NFL draft is intriguing with quarterbacks, but it's really where they're going to go, The Shador storyline is going to play a big role. Jackson Dart, if the Saints come back in the first round, they are not taking Shador Sanders. They will be taking, I would imagine they're taking Jackson Dart, which that'll be another storyline if Jackson Dart goes ahead of Shador Sanders. And then the Milroe factor, and then the jockeying again, there's going to be a ton of activity in the late 20s, I think, with teams that need quarterback that want that 5th year. So do the Giants jump over the Browns? Do the Browns anticipate that the Giants are going to jump over them for day 2? Because that 33rd pick is going to be super valuable, and there's going to be a lot of teams. And again, I go back to what I originally started talking with you guys. The draft is, you can get so much talent in that second round. So much talent. That's, I think, day 2 is going to be really a lot of fun for teams and managers and GMs and scouts.
Yeah, because that's where your talent. That I agree. I totally see it. Well, a couple local guys. What do you think of McCord? Where does McCord go? Does he go Friday tomorrow?
I'm not hearing a lot of McCord. I talked to somebody last night about it, and they were like, "Hey, you get a nice tape, but he's a backup." I was like, "That's it." And they're like, "I don't really see anything." Especially the point was, this is a draft class where you can make the move, right? And if you can't supplant the top 4, They're not going to move because they see all the flaws in the top 4. Now, again, that is a perfect example, and that is a perfect example. If you go to the right place, Kyle McCord can make guys look foolish in maybe 2 years.
Right.
If with the right coach who sees it and says, "Hey, I don't need to go crazy here in the draft early on. I'm going to get this guy, keep him, wait, develop him, and then quietly in 2 to 3 years, we've got potentially a plan."
Yeah, it's like, you know what's funny? Mark my words, and I know you agree, but at some point, Tanner McKee is going to become a player.
I'm with you. I'm totally with you, and that's the perfect example when we use the example of Kyle McCord, right? That is the perfect example. You stash, you wait. He's your 3rd string guy, and then over time, the skill set where you see a guy who's a phenomenal high school kid kind of shine, right? Totally agree with you. And to the point, and he could be really, really valuable.
Yes.
In August.
Yes.
Where Howie takes the calls.
Yes.
You need to respect,
Totally with you.
That's how we work.
How do you, does Ezeraku go tonight?
Yes. And I like him a lot.
I love that kid. Yeah. We had him on yesterday.
Late teens, early 20s.
Yeah. He's a great kid too.
Ezeraku would be, you know what will break my heart? Ezeraku could be one of those guys that in any other draft, the Eagles could quietly target and they could get him, right? What I find fascinating, I heard some chatter yesterday. Ezeraku was targeted for Washington, which would kill me.
Oh.
But I heard that Cleveland could come back into the draft at 29 to make a trade to get a quarterback. And Washington slides to 33. And I found that intriguing. And then we went, we took a side route and started playing out scenarios. Who would Cleveland take at 29? And it was like, hey, do they reunite Shador and Travis Hunter, or do they go Jackson Dart? I actually heard a little bit of Jackson Dart buzz there. So Ezeraku, again, is another fascinating thing because we could see him at 29, or we could see the Commanders jump in, or Ezeraku could go, in the early 20s. Your guess is as good as mine. I can tell you one thing. Schefter said that if we see a second quarterback go somewhere in the teens, or somebody surprises, then you're probably going to see a bunch of trades. Like if you see the Steelers maybe even take Shador at 21, you could see a flurry of trades now. Teams trying to move in to maybe get the Shuck or the Darts in the 20s.
What are you hearing on the Cowboys? Because the bold statement by Jerry talking about substantive moves. He's going to try to. He can't get up to 2.
No, he can't. And I don't know. He does not. So substantive moves, maybe. Does that mean you're going to move to 5 in front of the Raiders and take Genty? That's a lot to give up from 12 to 5. That's a lot to give up, especially for a team that has a lot of holes. So I don't know what he's thinking when he says that. But at the same time, remember, Jerry last offseason said they're all in and they did nothing.
I got to tell you, I love Genty. I think Genty is a game breaker. It would actually, if I was them, I would actually do it. I would actually figure out a way to get up to 5 because you got a bell cow who after post contact is at his best.
Yeah, but if after contact he had the most rushing yards, over 1,700 than any running back in the FBS. But I love Genty. I always tell people Genty is a throwback kind of guy. Phenomenal character. You walk him in the building and you like he radiates and people want to be around him, right? Genty is the plug and play. Immediately you put him on the field on Sunday, he is your rookie of the year and you don't have to worry about him for the next 3 years. That's how good it is. It's just a question of which team values running back right now. I think the Raiders, everybody's put that together, but Jacksonville can screw a lot of things up. For a lot of people, man. And then if you see something like that play out, you can then start to see a Mason Graham slide, who I love out of Michigan, the defensive tackle, and he could fall. And I think that would be a massive, massive get for a team if because again, we may see tight ends. You're going to see action with the tight ends. Loveland and Warren are going to be, I think, 2 in the top 14. So that actually helps the Eagles because you get next up to get to the guy you need to get to.
Well, but speaking of which, the tight end spot, because Goddard's going to go. So what do you? I love Mason Taylor. Like I love Taylor. I think he would be perfect. I don't think he'll be there. I think there's a chance he goes in the first round, but I don't know. What are you hearing?
Really? I saw a mock that the Eagles had him at 32 and one of them. I don't know if the Eagles make the move. The kid from Bowling Green is a freak show, man. Hannon?
Fanning, yeah.
He is really a freak show. And
I mean, you got Leffler as your quarterback coach. So, but I heard kind of mixed messaging. I don't know. But, he'll have all the skinny on him anyway.
Yeah. But you're right about Mason Taylor. I don't know if they would use that pick at 32 for him. I like him size-wise. And it's a shame because, I kind of wish this draft had a ton of quarterbacks and wide receivers because then one of these tight ends falls. Because it's interesting, too. I've heard Loveland Warren could do anything, right? I've heard there's a different type of physicality with Loveland, and that many teams will covet that type of physicality. If Loveland's still on the board, there's no way he's getting past the Chargers. There's no way Harbaugh is letting him go past him.
No way.
Yeah. No.
Well, but that's the difference. It's funny because Fanning, Arroyo, those guys aren't. Those guys aren't. They're really good pass catchers, but those guys are not physical. I mean, Fanning is basically a receiver. I mean,
Yeah. And same with Arroyo, big dude, and they're kind of like the Kyle Pitts hybrid, right?
Yeah.
You're too big to play wide receiver, but you could fall on that tight end, but you don't do some of the things that the tight end needs to do in certain offenses.
What do you make of the safeties, brother?
Dude, I love Malachi Starks.
I know you do.
I freaking love Malachi.
You know what the best? You know why you rule is that you got such a defensive mind. You in your mind, because I totally relate to you. You totally see it. Because you it's funny. Whether it's Campbell, Jahad Campbell, whether it's Green, whether it's Walter Nolan or Starks, that. I see the same thing.
Yep. Shamar Stewart. I love Starks. I think he's going to be off the board. I'm actually looking at a couple of different things I have. Eamon Wari is a good one too. He when he's healthy, he's big.
Yeah.
When he's healthy, that plays a role here. And in the end, Howie may surprise us. They may go offensive line too. Don't be surprised. You and I have been talking about defensive guys. I think Starks would be fantastic. And again, it will go against the grain of what Howie has done before in the past of drafting a safety that high. But when you trade Chauncey Gardner, Johnson, you see the result of what happened when you target the cornerbacks in the first and second round from a year ago. You slide in Starks, another Georgia kid. It would be really nice, but they could go offensive line. If they see a guy that they like there are a handful of dudes that could fall into their lap, and we got. Listen, if Zabel's available, I think they run. Because that guy the North Dakota State kid, he's high character. He literally can play any position. Yeah. Primarily, I should say center and guard. He can move around. Kid could have gone anywhere, decided to stay at North Dakota State. He was fantastic. So he fits the Eagles' idea of, hey, we got to play him somewhere. We got to move him somewhere. You put him in Starling's system. Within a year, you're like, okay, I feel really good about him. That's the one thing. I think Zabel goes in the teens. I really like that kid a lot.
Yeah, I do too. And see, I do think the Eagles are iffy at guard. I think they want I think they think they're iffy at guard, put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know where Steen is at
Yep.
in a multitude of ways. Not just, his,
Yep.
Does he want to play?
Yep.
Does he want to play?
I am actually 100% with you. A guy could be on the, available as Josh Simmons from Ohio State, an offensive tackle. Don't ever question the position on an offensive line if the Eagles can move Mekhi Becton to guard.
Yeah.
Bigger are, that is the better approach that they have. We can move anybody anywhere. We'll make them athletic.
Yeah, especially if a guy like Zabel, because he could play it naturally. He could play. You're so right about that, brother.
Without
do
question.
you think that there's going to be a run on the tackles? Like Banks, I could see that. I could see 3 going in the top 10, no?
Without question. There's no question you can see 3 going in the top 10. I can see 3 go in the top 10. I could see 5 go in the top 25.
Yeah.
So as a result, they may be on the 6th graded tackle, or do you find a guard that you really like?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're right. I think everybody would love to see them plug and play a guy at safety, defensive end. But do not be surprised if they say, we're going defensive tackle, we're going offensive line, and trust us, and that's all you can do, right? You can get some of these guys, these wide receivers that you want to get. Abuka would be unbelievable, I think, because I think they need a 3rd wide receiver.
Yes. Yes. How come? You know what's funny? All that kid does is run great routes and catch everything. He's got great hands. And listen, you play with Marvin Jr., you play at wide receiver, you're going to get a little overshadowed. You're not going to get the ball as much.
Without question. Great route runner, knows where to be in space. And again, the Eagles have been searching for a 3rd wide receiver for years.
Yes.
You got 1 and 1A. Getting that 3rd option, I would love that, man. I would love that. Here's another thing. We could see a run on wide receiver. I just don't know, because Tedero and McMillan could be the first guy off the board. You asked me specifically about the Cowboys. If they stay at 12, they could have their pick of the wide receiver. The wide receiver that I would want, the wide receiver that would scare me if the Cowboys got, would be Matthew Golden of Texas.
Yeah.
4.29.
Yeah.
Runs 4.29, plays 4.29.
Yeah.
They already a guy like CeeDee Lamb. So McMillan, I don't know if he fits what they want to do, but I've seen a lot of mocks with McMillan going to Dallas. I would get Golden if I was Cowboys at that spot. You got speed immediately, and you don't got a track star who catches the ball. You have a wide receiver with track star speed.
Dude, yes. It's so funny. I think Golden's underrated. They don't talk about him. And every time he was in the game, he made big plays.
And every time they needed something, viewers looked for him.
Yes.
You watch the Texas tape in any big game, where's Golden? And listen, if Sark thinks that's the guy, then that's the guy, because Sark has coached some of the best wide receivers we've seen in the last decade. So I'm with you, man. I'm totally with you.
Hey, last one. I know you're dude, I love you. I could talk to you all day freaking long. This is the greatest.
Yeah.
Scattaboo, who I love, who I just think is a football player. Scattaboo.
Yeah. You're dying to say his name for
I love him. I just love the kid. What are people talking about? Because he to me, that playoff game, now all season long, but on that stage, to me, he was the story of the game. He's throwing up. He's gutting it out. They were loading the box on him, and he was still making plays.
It's so funny, as you say, with Scattaboo. There's literally no buzz with Scattaboo, and I think because the teams that covet him do not want anybody talking about him. Because they want to try to see if they can stash him and get him later.
Right.
Because, listen, when you look at the running backs, there's tiers, right? I mean, you got Genty.
Right.
Hampton, to some extent, is in that top tier, but it's a gap, right? And then there's the next tier, and you got the two running backs who I think are fantastic, like Quinyon and Trevion. I think Trevion had a meeting with with Andy Reid recently, and I was like, oh my God, he would be perfect.
Oh my God, he would be great with the Chiefs. Yeah.
Yeah, the Ohio State guys,
Yeah.
right? And then there's another tier here, and I actually, VG's going to pop up. I love Dylan Sampson from Tennessee. I think he was the offense. I don't think Nico was. Dylan Sampson did so many things well. I really like Dylan Sampson. And to me, it's like Scattaboo and Sampson could be third-round picks. That could be steals. And those are the type of guys you see in the middle of the season, and you're like, oh, my God, they're crushing it in fantasy. Oh, my God, they're on a team like let's just say the kid from Oregon last year that went to the Bucks, and then he emerged, and he was the star of that team offensively.
Bucky Irving. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
So, to me, it's fit with guys like Scattaboo and Sampson. A really good team is going to draft one of those guys, and what you're going to see is in the middle of the season, whoa.
Yes.
They lights out.
Yes.
And they in the third round. I think that's the storyline with those two guys.
Yeah, I love it.
It's interesting, man. I'm looking at a list of the official visits that the Eagles had, 29 of them. Not one wide receiver or one tight end on the official visits list. Surprising.
Well, I think they know the tight end they like.
Yeah, and they may be up to something.
Hey, before you leave, Kev, you guys are big draft heads. I got a trivia question.
Okay.
Only one team has not drafted a quarterback in the first round in the last 50 years. Who is it?
The Saints. Archie Manning was the
Bam! Nice work, Kev. Yeah.
Way to go, Kev. Way to go, brother.
Nice.
Listen, break a leg. We'll be watching, man. You're going to kill it, as you always do.
Appreciate you, fellas. Good talking to you.
All right, next week you and I catch up, all right?
You got it, buddy.
All right, see you, pal. Here he is, Kevin Negandhi. I love Kevin, man.
Yeah, he's fun.
He's fantastic. Oh man,
he geeks out with you on college football.
I know, dude. This is my happy place. I could talk all freaking day with this stuff.
I've noticed. Yeah.
Sorry, I know. I monopolize sometimes.
No. I like it. I took a nap. I'm good.
Yeah.
I feel great. I'm refreshed for both.
You know what it is? It's like it's payoff to all the hours that you watch. If that makes any sense. Otherwise, I just wasted my life.
But it's weird. You told me it's a great college football season, but then the draft doesn't seem like there's a ton of great talent in it.
Well, I think there's a difference between entertaining. Mm-hmm. Again, there's a lot of kids that are still in school that are really good players, right? You can't just color the draft by the quarterback. Mm-hmm. And I think this draft is colored by the quarterback. The fact that the quarterback there's not a lot of them. I mean, you're Kevin. Everybody's a backup except for Ward.
Yeah.
Which probably is the truth.
What do you think about McCord coming here? A little project. Quarterback factory.
I don't, I would never rule that out.
Yeah.
But I will tell you that the McKee thing, I've been saying this to you for a while, going back to last year. The McKee's legit. Mm-hmm. You just wait and see. McKee is all that. All right. My man Bo Wulf coming up in just a moment. But first, let's talk about some of our friends. How about some Empire?
Today, you got to have nice flooring in your house. You got to. And just like your favorite team needs a home court field ice advantage, yeah, your home's got to have that floor advantage. And Empire Today, they can help you get it. Empire Today's got flooring experts, dedicated flooring professionals who focus on flooring every single day. We've all been to the big box stores. You wander around. You can't find anyone working the flooring. And if you do, they don't know what they're talking about. They're probably in electricity the day before, lumber, who knows. They just don't know what they're talking about. That's where Empire Today comes in because they live and breathe flooring. They're with you every step of the way. So it makes it a whole new stress-free ball game. They got flooring experts that come right to your house. They bring their virtual showroom designer. You pick out the flooring you like. You take a couple pictures of your rooms in your house where you're going to put the flooring in. You can see if you like it, see if it matches, see if it clashes before anything takes place. So it makes it a little stress-free. And more importantly, you get clear, upfront, all-inclusive pricing. And you can also get installation as soon as the next day if they got your flooring in stock. So schedule a free in-home estimate today because some things are just better at home. PHLY listeners can receive a $350 discount when they're using the promo code PHLY. That's $350 discount with the code PHLY. Restrictions do apply. Visit Empire Today/PHLY for full details.
All right, now let's talk about Parks Casino, Street Road, Ben Salem. Pennsylvania's #1 casino, our casino of choice. They have it all: action, excitement, headline entertainment, thousands of hot online slots, state-of-the-art sportsbook, an amazing poker room, all-weather beer garden, collection of award-winning restaurants. Parks Casino, this is how you win. Tickets on sale now for these headliners. May 16th, Larry the Cable Guy.
Get her done.
May 30th, country artist Ashley McBride.
I never wanted to be that girl, never wanted to hate myself.
June 6th, the sounds of Taj Mahal, Kev Mo.
Woke up this morning, had them Steedsboro blues.
June 14th, Clutch.
Bang, 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 bang. Vamonos, vamonos.
July 3rd, Gary Clark Jr.
Yeah, come on, hop on, he got moving on there.
Freaking Andrew. I can
my Andrew impression.
Blop, blop. His head's bobbing like a bobblehead. July 12th, comedian Mark Norman.
Good, funny.
July 18th, KC the Sunshine Band.
That's the way, I like it.
Go ahead, bot. September 6th, UB40.
Red wine.
September 27th, comedian Russell Peters. November 22nd, comedian Brian Regan. Don't forget, dinner and a show, Liberty Bell Gastropub, Beer Garden, Parksville Steakhouse, Bamboo Noodle House, Chickies and Pete's, ParksCasino.com for all things Parks Casino. Got to be 21. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right. Now, as we continue, draft day extravaganza here at all PHLY. Bo Wulf. Good morning, Bo.
Good morning. Happy draft day.
Happy draft day, my brother. We love it.
VG, I love you. I don't know if you hit that red wine note.
Yeah, my melody's off a little bit with that. I'm not a big fan of those guys, so I got to go revisit it a little bit. You a big fan?
Okay, back to the tape. Yeah. I mean, I remember listening to that, when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But I haven't been to a UB40 concert recently. I can say that.
Recently, you've been to one. Yeah.
Dozens.
I like it.
You got a busy household out here, there, Bo.
Congratulations, buddy.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. We got a 3-day-old.
3-day-old?
You getting any sleep?
I got a couple hours.
Now's the time where they sleep all day.
Right. You can trade naps a little bit.
Yeah.
The nighttime, we had a lot of gas. Did not really want to sleep overnight.
Colicky.
We'll get some naps before the show tonight.
Yeah. And mom, you as a veteran know this, that for the first month, I mean, mom's mom, right? So mom's always mom, but especially the first month, mom is everything.
Everything.
The mom's the vessel.
Oh,
the vessel of life.
Oh yeah, you got to do everything else.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And you're like more.
We got the.
You're more the gopher. Like, go to Target to get.
get errand boy,
right?
Mm-hmm.
Get
the
formula
other kids to school,
right?
Well, everything else, yes.
Make the formula, do all this stuff. You're the errand boy.
Yeah,
you're the do boy, and you got it.
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Beginning of life.
Dude, do you smell the baby? There's nothing better than that baby smell.
My favorite. I love the just the feel of the 7 pounds on your chest.
Yeah, the best.
Just lie down, put the baby on the chest. That's the best.
Now I look at him, and my oldest one's bigger than me, and I'm like,
you don't put him on your chest anymore?
He was this little peanut with lots of hair, and now I look at him, and he's like monster, and then he eats everything, and I'm like, how did that occur? It's crazy, Bo.
You still put him on your chest, though, right?
Yeah, he put me on his chest. My God. Okay, Daddy. He's benching. He's deadlifting over 600 pounds.
What?
Yeah. I'm like,
jeez.
Yeah. All right. Congratulations, my brother. All the love.
Thank you.
All the love.
Thank you.
So, where are you at? I mean, we've been at it all morning, kind of looking at all scenarios. Who are the guys that you're going to target that may fall into the 20s? Because Nolan's not going to be there. Green most likely is not going to be there. You think differently? You think Nolan's got a chance to be there?
No, it's so unpredictable, right? That's everything you hear about this draft specifically, is that it is less predictable than any in recent memory in terms of who's going to be on the board. And that's what makes it so difficult about projecting what they're going to do at 32, because they're not going to have their choice necessarily. Now, like Walter Nolan could go as high as 8 or 11, right? But Daniel Jeremiah yesterday, or his final mock draft, has him falling out of the first round. And I think that's indicative. I think that's unlikely.
Yeah.
And I also think, if he's on the board, I think the Eagles would be very interested.
Yeah.
All of that said, I think there is sort of like a flattening of this draft, right? Where guys who like the difference between 10 and 45 in this draft is not super huge. And so everybody's board is going to look a little bit different. And so I actually think that is good for the Eagles, because it makes it more likely that one of the 24 however players they have a first round grade on is within range for them. Now, I think they would love Walter Nolan. I think he's one of the 4 or 5 guys they would think about trading up for. I'm with you. I think it's probably unlikely that they'll get that Jalen Carter, Quinyon Mitchell fall into their lap scenario again. I think in terms of trading up, you're probably thinking of the guys who are their meat and potatoes line of scrimmage guys. I know you're all about Mike Green. I think that's a possibility. It would be interesting, given the things that Howie Roseman has said about violence against women being a deal breaker.
He has a green light.
Okay, that's interesting, and he sort of fits the things that they care about. I'm less believing that they love Donovan Ezeraku than Zach does. He doesn't quite feel like a Vic guy to me, but that's a conversation for a different time.
By the way, just aside from everything else, we had him on yesterday. What a kid! What a fabulous kid!
You had him on yesterday. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I missed it.
In
the hospital.
What a great kid! I love that kid, man. Beautiful kid.
And he's got those long arms that if you're a little bit undersized, you need to help compensate. And so I think there's a good chance that he turns out to be a good player. Certainly the production matters a lot. Offensive line, Josh Simmons is like kind of the perfect Howie bet, where it's like, man, if this guy was healthy, or if this was next year's draft, he would have been a top 15 pick, and we're able to get him at 32 because he's coming off the torn patellar tendon. I think, Howie likes to think about getting blue chip players with these picks. That's why I think he will be willing to move up for sure. I heard you guys talking about Gray Zabel with Kevin. I think that's a possibility. That would make sense to me. Even Tyler Booker, at 32, you wouldn't think about the Eagles using a first round pick on a guard, but 32 is so... it's basically a second round pick, right? And so if you think this guy's the best guard in the class and can step in and start right away, that wouldn't be a total shock for me. And then because you're at 32, this is where you may have to stray from, wanting to pound the line of scrimmage and get a guy like, I know you've been talking about Mason Taylor. I think if they view him that way, I think that's possible. Malachi Starks, I think that's possible. And then, there's going to be a surprise, right? And so if somebody like, I think this is unlikely, but if somebody like would the Eagles move up for Colson Loveland because they view him as a guy who can just, help turn around this passing game? Because I actually do think that as much as the Eagles would like to add defensive tackle and edge to this defense, long-term, big picture, it makes more sense for them to add an offensive player at the top of this draft. When you just think about the way that the contracts are going to be building up, they're going to have to pay Jalen Carter. They're going to have to pay Quinyon Mitchell. They're going to have to pay Nolan Smith. They're going to have to pay Cooper DeJean. And all of a sudden, when Devontae and AJ are a little bit older, there's going to be room. They're going to need young guys on offense to help turn that around. And so I think that is something that they will be thinking about.
Yeah, there's no way Loveland gets past the Chargers.
Well, maybe you trade up ahead of him.
Yeah. If you're going up that high, I'd rather go to Happy Valley.
Well, yeah, that would be fun, wouldn't
it? Yeah.
He must go. He's got to go early. Although I do think there will be teams who have Loveland ahead of Warren just because he's more of a prototypical tight end plug and play where you got to sort of have some creativity with Warren.
Yeah. It's interesting when you mention receiver because Kevin and I were talking about it. He brought up Babuka, who I love, by the way, who I think gets overshadowed at Ohio State. All he does is run great routes and catch everything.
Now, how do you feel about Luther Burden?
I mean, I get last year it was a mess. Missouri was a complete mess last year, so you got to grade him on that curve. I mean, 2 years ago he was sensational,
unbelievable, and to me, Burden would make a little more sense for the Eagles than Egbuka because I feel like Egbuka is you are hitting a double, right? There's less upside with Egbuka, but if you are a wide receiver needy team, this is a guy who can start right away, day one, right? I think for the Eagles, it would be less about we need a guy who can play right away and more about the upside of this swing is too good for us to pass up. Because you think about this offense, right? I mean, Jalen Hurts doesn't really throw to that third wide receiver very often, right? And maybe you're thinking we're going to move away from the tight end being option number 3 and the wide receiver will be option number 3 in this passing game. But you got to bake that in to, you got to draft guys for the offense that you have. And so with Egbuka, I don't know that he's going to get the ball enough to make it worthwhile. Whereas with Luther Burden, you're thinking about, okay, how do we make this team more explosive? And maybe Saquon's not going to have as many 50-yard touchdown runs this year, but we want to keep that element.
Hey, listen,
well, maybe Luther Burden gives us that.
And I'm with you. Now, obviously, Buka goes well after Burden, I think. But
oh, you think so?
I do. But here's the thing.
Okay.
Here's what I like about Ibuka. He knows space. Like, he's a space finder. Like, when you have AJ and Devontae, I like a guy that can find space.
I think that's fair, and he'll be comfortable over the middle of the field, no doubt about that. Again, I like the idea of drafting a wide receiver just because of the things we talked about the offense. But I do wonder how they would feel about with Jalen in charge of the offense. Is it worth using that pick on a guy who's going to get 40 targets? Ideally,
I mean, listen, I'm with you, and just so we're clear. I'm not looking. I'm looking at defense, and I'm looking at our O-line. To me, I'm either going interior edge or O-line. Now,
do you think they move up, Cuz?
I do. I mean, you got all those picks. You have a wild card draft. I gotta believe the board's going to give you opportunities.
Mm-hmm. What I feel strongest about is that I think they're going to move up from 64.
Agreed.
I think they will try.
That's
to move up
where
from
you're
32.
looking at receiver, tight end. That's where you look.
And that's where I think there will be a guy who they will really target, and they will be very surprised that he's on the board. So
agreed.
I think there's a chance they move up both times, but I think there's also a chance they move down from 32 to 38 or 40 and then come all the way up to like 45 or something like that from 62, because the strength of this class, it seems like, is like the top of the middle of the second round. That's where you're getting guys who are not dissimilar from who's going to be on the board at 28.
Well, and to your point, and I agree with you, and here's the other thing. You could have a situation where some of those other teams that want the quarterback late jump back up and trade with the Eagles there to go get, whether it's Shador or Milrow, because it feels like.
Can you believe Dart is going to be a first-round pick? It sounds like it's crazy.
What's that?
You think? Do you like Dart?
Yeah, I don't like any of the quarterbacks, but I like Ward to some extent. I root like hell for McCord. I think people can get a steal because I think he can throw the ball, the whole thing. But I look at these other quarterbacks and go, I mean, there's huge flaws. I don't like Shador a little bit. I don't like Dart. I think Dart is, he's a complete wild card because of the offense, right? You're in Lane's offense. I don't know, right? I hear weird things about him. And then there's Milrow, who's a complete project that won't bear fruit for 2 years, if at all.
Yeah, I think Milroe, you can't be drafting him if you need a quarterback. You need to be drafting him in the way that the Eagles drafted Jalen Hurts, right? Where you have a quarterback, but the upside is too good to pass up because of the value of a quarterback.
Dude, he's going first round.
You think so?
I had a guy tell me yesterday.
I mean, you got invited, right?
I had a guy tell me yesterday. The order after Ward. The order goes.
Yeah.
Milroe, Dart, Shador.
Wow.
I don't know, for whatever that means.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's plugged in, but
here's the thing: is I can sort of buy that, because if you're drafting a quarterback in the first round, you might as well go for the upside. And he's certainly got more upside because he'll enter the league and be one of the best running quarterbacks in the league, right? And so that gives you at least some dynamic on offense. But yeah, I mean, if you're using a first round pick on Jackson Dart, or like even the people who have said that maybe Tyler Shuck goes in the back of the first round, I mean, fold your franchise.
Right.
What are we doing? Like, it's not worth it.
Right. Dude, I'm with you. I'm completely with you. But I can see them late first round, like teams get back up. You know, the fifth year.
And the idea is,
the fifth year means
theory,
something.
The fifth year means a lot, and you would be, ideally, if you're the Eagles, you get a bit of a bidding war because the Giants, the Browns, potentially, those are the ones who are known to want to probably draft a quarterback if they don't draft one at the top of the first round. And so if there's somebody else who wants to come in and compete with those teams, at least there's a known market there.
Yeah, I'm with you. Fascinating stuff. So give me the lineup for tonight. Like, what do you got cooking?
Live at 8:00 throughout the entire first round, and then the entire second and third round tomorrow night, and then the entire draft on Saturday, at least until the Eagles are done with their picks. We will have Fran Duffy in studio, Zach Berman in studio. And by the way, if you watched last year, Zach broke the news. If you wanted to know who the Eagles were going to pick, Zach Berman had it first. And so if you want to know tonight, I don't know.
ZB!
He's going to be able to follow that up. ZB!
I love it. I love it. What?
I have that video if you want to use ZB breaking Quinyon.
Yeah, do it. Yeah,
They're taking Quinyon Mitchell. Wow. Did you break that? Is that you breaking it? Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I haven't seen it on Twitter yet. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, breaking news on the PHLY Eagles Draft Day show. Zach Berman breaks it. The Eagles are taking Toledo's Quinyon Mitchell.
Nice job, Bo.
Man had it.
That was nice.
The man had it.
He's ridiculous. He is. He's incredible.
He was great. He was trying to tweet it out so quick while he's talking to you.
It's awesome. Love it. Love it. My
he was
brother
trying to get it on Twitter before he could get on the show. But we got to know where our bread is buttered.
Yeah, exactly. My man, great stuff. Listen, God bless your family. All right. And that beautiful baby. We'll be watching tonight, brother.
Thank you very much. Look forward to it.
Yeah, congrats.
Bo Wulf, man. Love some Bo. All right. Wow.
You all right?
No, I gotta wait hours.
Oh, take a nap. You're still recuperating. Take a nap. Get yourself right.
I actually feel pretty good right now.
Do you?
Best I've felt in a week.
Coincidentally, it's draft day.
Yes, yes. All
Little
right,
adrenaline.
time now for Right 8 back in the day.
Sure. Why not?
What do we got? Overtime. It's going to be like the game last night. Stars. Quick overtime.
Quick one.
By the way, did you see that game? That game was unbelievable.
I was in bed
They
early.
killed off a double minor. The Lance, right? As a double minor. And Dallas kills it off.
Who won? Dallas?
Yeah. In Colorado. It was a great game. Hockey playoff rule.
So much fun.
Rule.
So we're going to go back to, I don't know, one of the greatest draft picks ever, maybe?
We're going back. We're going back. We're going back in the day with Rite Aid. Yeah!
This may be one of the greatest draft picks ever. It's not an Eagle pick, unfortunately. But
among the last 6 picks taken, a familiar name if you're a college football fan. Tom Brady, the quarterback who was lead this football team, put them in the right position more times than not. And when he got pulled from the game and Drew Henson came in, Michigan football was not as good as it was when Brady was in.
No question, Mike. Smart experience. This past season, he cut his interception total from 98.5, tossed 20 touchdown passes, only 6 interceptions. Threw a touchdown pass in actually all 16 games he started against Big Ten opposition during his career. Accurate. It was a very catchable ball. He already knows when to take a little off as well. And that's the key. And he stands in that pocket very tough. He'll take a hit. The question's going to be mobility. He only runs a 5.2, 5.40. And of course, when you have those edge pass rushers, you have to avoid the initial defensive end, the initial pass rusher. Can he do that at the pro level?
can he do it at the pro level?
That's awesome. That was Tirico, and that was Tirico doing the.
Yep.
Wow, that's awesome. That's great.
Hopefully, the Eagles could be as lucky tonight in later rounds.
I got complete faith.
Yeah. Well,
all right. Well, we got one round tonight.
Yep.
2 or 3 tomorrow.
Yep.
Rest of the draft Saturday. We got you covered 3 straight days here at old PHLY.
For sure.
Keep it locked in, man. All night tonight. How's the chat? How's everybody doing?
Good, man. They're all ready to go.
Hello, chat.
Sam from England. He's got a rough one. He's got to stay up late tonight.
Oh, yeah, Sam. You got to be
long day for him.
That's right.
Yeah. We're good. Everyone's happy. Everyone's geeked up.
Good. All right. Well, everybody, enjoy it. All right. We'll come back tomorrow and we'll sift through the rubble. What do we got? Who's our gem? What happened? It'll be a lot of fun. Cannot wait. I may be active tonight on social media.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. Have a great night. We love you guys. Be careful.
Go Birds.
See you in the morning. That's Bot. That's Joe.
We all silly like the mayor.